Text me and I'll text you back.
Text me, then I'll text you back.
Text me, then I'll text you back.
You text me, then I'll text you back.
Text me, then I'll text you back.
TikTok, you don't stop.
I will help you make your paper stack.
Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Where you at now?
205-964-5243. You know. 205-964-5243. You know.
Good evening and welcome to August 18th. Flippinar 234. I had to go back and actually edit those. I had them all out of order. Had 228s, 230s. So I had to go back and change them. So we're at 234. I think I was saying it right as we doing it, but as the title text was incorrect. So they didn't notice. All right, so yeah, so we got the full house here tonight. We got the lovely ladies here to make this thing go so smooth. And so we're here to talk about real estate investing with a strong emphasis on wholesaling real estate, where your cash or credit is irrelevant, low risk, high reward opportunity. And today's topic is there a special contract when dealing with realtors? Is there a special contract when dealing with real estate agents? So we'll get to answer that question later on in the stream here. So if you want to join us and get pushed to the front of the line and get your questions answered live on the live stream, just text the word Gator to the number 205-964-5243, and we'll add you to the live stream. Just a couple of things before we get going. If you want more of a step-by-step of the videos and how to do this, now I have over 800 videos on the channel. If you don't include the YouTube shorts, just text the word, the letters VIP to the number VIP, and that playlist will get you going. Now, the first video was a recent video that I did on self-storage, so you might want to bypass that. I don't want you to get confused. It's just there because it was a recent video. I like to put those to the front of the line. Just to share the times that we come on. We're on live. We daily live stream Monday through Thursday. On Monday through Wednesday, normally about 3:45 p.m. Eastern, and on Thursdays around 8:05 Eastern, even though it says 7. Just make sure, please subscribe, like, share, follow us. That's all we ask here, and you to obviously learn something. One thing I just want to let you know, of course, the paperwork, which we're talking about contracts, to get that contract that you can use. I've been giving away since 2008, been personally using this since 2003. Text the word contract to the number 205-964-5243 to get access. Also, how to get it filled out for sellers and buyers. Over to you, AP.
All right. Thank you guys for joining us this Thursday evening. As Ty said, this is show number 234, and this is the place where you ask your questions in regards to wholesaling real estate and other investment, real estate investment ways. But wholesaling real estate with little to no cash or credit, this is the place to be. You ask the questions, I'll read the questions, and beautiful Miss Renikia or Ty will answer them for you. Want to give some shout outs. So Thea, thank you for joining us. Barnetta, Jamie Branch, Nasimo Food Project LLC. You already got your LLC, boo. I see you. Don Burr, Sheena Cobbs, Blast, Yvette, thank you all for joining us. And then I see you guys on TikTok and Instagram. Mickey Estrada, thank you for joining us. Anthony Hilton _ joined. Did I just really read joined as part of his name? I did. Okay. So TD _ Curtin, DWE Services. Thank you all. And the rest of you that are on as well. Go ahead and start posting those questions in the chat. And don't forget, as Ty mentioned earlier, you can join us live and ask your question first and any additional follow-up questions that you may have by texting the word Gator, Gator, to the number 205-964-5243. Without further ado, we're going to get right into this thing, but not after we check in with Rennie. What's going on, Renikia?
Hello, I'm great. How about you?
I'm good. You know, August is almost over. Like, it's the middle of August, and My money still ain't right. So I think me and everybody else in the chat box, we got plenty of time, right? We got time to get it together.
Absolutely. We got plenty of time to get together. The key is you got to start doing something.
Okay.
Start.
Okay. Y'all heard that? You have to err. We're erring on the side of doing something, and you're doing something today by joining us live. So make sure you take down all the information that you can to start investing in real estate in one shape, form, or another. Okay, so let's go into it. First question is going to be from Miss Denise Favors. Hey y'all, I have a seller that wants to sell for 185K in the Ben Hill area in the ATL. You familiar with that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. To me, it's a complete rehab. The ARV comps 399 to 550. Ooh, that's a big gap. And it's a 3-bed, 3-bath. Is this a good deal? I'm a realtor, so not too sure on the wholesale side. Help.
Let's how much she said she's picking it up for? 185.
Yes.
If it's a complete rehab, I will assume it needs at least $100,000 in rehab. But for that area, it really depends. I mean, I think the 3-3, is that a 2-story home or that's a 1-story home? I'm thinking to get the 550, you're gonna need to pop the top, go up, something of that nature. So I'm not for sure exactly what you want to do there, but let's just take it in the middle around 450. 70% of 450 would be 315. Subtract out 185, which is a purchase, leave you $130,000 of rehab. Not bad.
Not bad. So it's doable.
It's doable as long as your rehab is around 100 to 130. Or if you can get 550, your rehab can be a little bit more. But that's pretty doable. A lot of properties going for like 150, 175 over there in that area. I'll try to get it down between 150 to 175.
All right, Ms. Denise, it sounds like you got yourself a deal. Go put that under contract and go find you a buyer. Yes. So Jamie Branch wants to know, do you recommend using auction sites to find properties?
Sure, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, auctions. You gotta have your cash ready for auctions. Just be mindful of that. If you are going through auction.com, I think they do auction for the tax lien sales, depending on what your county is. But you have to have your money right. Every county is different when it comes to auctions. I know there are some counties, some states that give you like 90 days to come back and buy. So just know how long it takes. I mean, I would say learn your county law to know, do you need to pay for it right then and there, the day of, within 24 hours, so they give you 30 days, 3 months, and it depends on if they give you time. There may be a possibility to wholesale, but a lot of auctions and tax liens and things of that nature, you almost got to have your money the day of acceptance. So just be mindful of that. What do you say, Tom?
So they were asking about the auction process.
Do you recommend using auction sites?
Auction to find properties.
Okay, well, as far as the wholesale game, like Renika said, you need to know the terms of the auction, but normally that's one of the more difficult ways to do it. You got to have a buyer that just like basically say, hey, here's some money and go, find me something or whatever. So because I don't even know what the closing process on that, even if you did have time to find a buyer, how would the closing be handled? Is the auction going to control the closing? Which I'm pretty sure they probably would, being because of that's how it's being liquidated or whatever. In reality, it just better options out there than that. Just keeping it simple or whatever, just because of the hoops you'll have to jump through at an actual auction, or whatever. So, and then I think you have to have in most cases, you have to put up money just to be in the auction, right? Like maybe $5,000 or something like that, depending on the auction.
Mm-hmm.
You have to show something. You ain't just gonna show up and start bidding. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to show something, I'm sure. And I'm sure each one is different. You ain't gonna just show up and start bidding.
Okay. Chief Cook, absolutely. Little to no cash or credit. Chief Cook says, can someone get into real estate with bad credit?
Absolutely. And so that's exactly what the show is all about. The show is all about how to sell or how to buy and sell real estate. Absolutely little to no money. And the silent words, bad credit is in there as well. So absolutely. That's what wholesaling is all about.
Okay. Let's see here. So Mickey Estrada, and this is from Instagram. When you buy a property, do you use a bank loan? So that's the awesome thing about wholesaling, Mickey. You don't have to use a bank loan, right?
No, absolutely no. You don't have to use any loan. You don't have to use your money, any loans or anything when you wholesale.
What was your question? If you buy a house, what?
The question was, when you buy a property, do you use a bank loan?
Okay. Well, yeah, as far as wholesaling, you definitely don't. But if you're just talking about buying a house, maybe to live in or maybe as an investment, either one or two things are going to have to happen. Yeah, you're going to have to use a bank or the seller we'll just say or the seller act as the bank or whatever. So I guess they need to be a little bit more clear on their question. We're here talking about wholesaling, so we're assuming if you're talking about wholesaling, no, that's the whole purpose that's the sheer definition of wholesaling. You don't need banks, you don't need credit or whatever. That's the actual definition of it, to be able to put real estate deals together and make money. Now, if you're talking about buying something to own for whatever reason, then it's going to have to be something done in the form of either going to have the money, you're going to bring a lender in place, or the owners are going to have to act as the bank, if that makes sense. Maybe they could be a little bit more clear on their question.
Okay. So it sounds like you were talking about creative financing right there. And Ann Love has a question. She states, I want to buy a business by using creative finance. I don't know where to start in terms of making an offer. I want to put down little to nothing, but I'm not sure how to go about this. Can you help? So if you wanted to buy a business and you didn't want to put down, you wanted to put down little to no.
With anything, you just have to make the offer, right? Which I've been doing a lot of research on it a lot since I interviewed Cody Sanchez, maybe, I don't know if it's been a year ago, but for a minute ago. And similar to real estate, you could negotiate a deal where even if the owner requires a down payment, if they were going to owner finance a business to you, you can get them to owner finance the down payment, right? You have the terms to pay for it, but they may want 30% down. You can negotiate it where the revenue from the business, the sales, the transactions from the business could help pay for the down payment. So basically you'll be paying them two loans. It'll be probably one payment, but it'll be two loans. It could be structured that way. Now, at the end of the day, you got to get someone that's willing to accept that. Everybody, a lot of people won't, but that's how it can happen with no money. Or you bring someone in the fold that actually has some money that wants to be a silent partner. They think it's a great idea. They have the down payment as far as what the owner would require if they were willing to owner finance it, and that would be another option. So, what are your thoughts, Reniki?
No, I would have said the same thing. It's just the art of the deal. When you're putting together things like that, it's art of the deal. I mean, it's your ability to negotiate those type of terms, which is very doable. I mean, to Ty's point, if the business is profitable, you can negotiate, hey, for the first 2 to 3 years, 20%, 30%, 50% of profit goes back to the owner to pay off or pay down that particular, down payment or offer that you all have. So it's just really the art of the deal and your ability to negotiate those type of terms with the seller.
Okay, thank you for that answer. Sheena Cobbs wants to know, what are the best ways to get into virtual wholesaling without spending a ton to start out?
That's a good one. Got to answer. Here for $100, you can be in the game. Just watch this video right here. This is one way, right? Is this. Text MLS to the number. That video will help. Assume you don't want to take that option. What you could do is, number one, you got to choose a market or markets. And similar to what you'll do in your local market, you start to network with buyers in those markets. Say, well, how will I do that? Well, you will. Well, I'll get to the second part of it. But use the internet, power of social media. You want to join as many real estate investment groups as you can in those markets that you want to target, and try to see what, introduce yourself and see what people are wanting to purchase, and just look and try to become active in that particular market as far as having a thumb on who wants what. Now, it's not going to probably happen overnight. Now, it may take you several months just to build that network of individuals but then it could take a day or two to figure out who the real players are, because they're telling you that they are, and they may be showing some of their deals, and they may show you a whole timeline of how they bought this house, renovated, and sold it or whatever. So definitely want to reach out to that individual. You can use Google as a particular option and just do a search, sell my house fast, and whatever the name of the city is. Those first 2 or 3 pages of results on Google are going to normally be real players in that market. So you want to try to reach out to them again to see what they're interested in buying. Now, some of them are going to be wholesalers, which you're going to need anyway, because what you'll do is, the reason that you're building that buyers list first is so now that wholesalers that are in those markets that you're targeting, you just wholesale their properties. So now that's she said she didn't have any money. So that's going to be the way you're going to do it, whether it's local or virtual. What are your thoughts?
No, absolutely. I mean, I feel that, I don't feel like it's a cheaper route than local route. I feel like the same tools you need locally, you need virtually. I think it's the same thing. However, one of just from Todd just talking, I just thought about this scenario where, maybe you just partner with the people on the ground. So it's almost like, hey, you find realtors out there, other wholesalers out there, and partner with them. So now, you all can share in the expenses. Hey, I'll do all the desktop work. You are my foot on the ground, or my presence on the ground, and just partner with people in that area that you want to target. And maybe y'all can share expenses. So now you don't have to worry about drawing for dollars, putting out signs, because now you have a partner that's just as that's there locally, that is also invested in the partnership. So just maybe finding partners in those areas that you can partner with that can offset some of those expenses that you will inquire. So.
All right, thank you. Guys, don't forget to get your questions asked first and live. You can text the word Gator to the number 205-964-5243 and join us live like Mr. Robert. Are you ready, Robert?
Yes, how you doing?
Hey, I'm well, thank you. How are you?
All right, how you doing, Miss Unica and Ty? How you doing?
Mr.
Great.
Robert.
What about yourself?
I'm hanging in there, man. I'm trying to put it together.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I had a couple of questions. Ty, are you interested in industrial properties as well? And
Actually, yeah. Just depends on where it is. It just depends. But to answer your question, yeah, we definitely want to take a look at those.
All right,
got a couple of uses in mind for that.
Yeah, because I ran across a couple of this humongous spot. I was driving, from therapy today, and I happened to just cruise through the neighborhood, ran into this big old. First, I thought it was just a abandoned warehouse, but then as I drove around it, I saw the expansion of it. I mean, it's like, it's pretty large. It's pretty large, and that was one of my questions. And I was wondering if you have received any of the other submissions that I had made, and what did you think about it?
Whenever you submitted them, is it stuff that you actually have in the contract?
Um, those one. Remember when you were talking about looking for
Oh,
property?
you mean the commercial stuff?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
All
all
right.
right.
I haven't heard anything back from anybody on that end.
Where did you send that? Because did you email it to me?
No, I sent it through. Do you later?
Okay,
Oh
I'll
no.
have to look at that. They probably didn't look at that. I can just
Mhm.
tell you. So I'll have to actually dig into that myself.
All right, all right. And Miss Renika, how you doing? Okay, I don't want to leave you
Mhm.
out.
I'm doing
uh,
great. How about yourself, Mr. Robert?
all right, all right. Trying to get some follow up on information I put in with you
Okay.
about your program. You can contact or we can get back on that at a later date or so. Um, I went to the site and submitted. So
Right.
uh,
We talked a couple days ago, right?
yeah,
About that.
yeah, yeah. And I did that. I did that. Um,
You have it
oh
under contract?
yes, I sent it into her. I sent it into her yesterday, and I'm waiting to hear back from her.
Okay.
Waiting to hear
But as
back
soon
from
as you get that contract approved, let me know and I can move it forward with it.
her. All right, all right, all right. Uh, well, I guess that's it for right now. I'll sit back and get all this information I can get. Oh, yes. Well, I'll talk to you about that at a later time. But I'm enjoying all the information, Ty. I'm telling you, man, you're something else. And Mr. Nika, you got a plan that's all set up, and I mean, it's helping some people do some things. I'm telling you, and I'm looking forward to working with both of y'all for a nice long while.
Thank you,
All
sir.
right.
Y'all build more
Yeah.
legacies.
Y'all have a good evening.
All right, you too. Thank
All
you.
right.
All right. Bye bye.
Mhm.
All right, guys, you too can join us and ask your questions and any follow-up questions that you may have by texting the word Gator to the number. You already know what it is. Okay, lovely Lepre from Instagram. Thank you so much for what you do. Please keep going. You will change a lot of lives. That's great. I like that. Thank you. I ain't answering no questions, but I'm reading them, and that's just as important. I think so. Okay. So Manny Flynn on TikTok says, question, how do you find the ARV on homes that are livable? For example, no updates and no major repairs are needed. Would we use a sold property that sold as is as a comp?
Now, if we're doing ARVs now, you're thinking about, you have to think about it in terms as far as a wholesaler. If you're trying to determine the value on a property that needs very little repairs, is normally they need something or whatever. So, but it's still based on the ARV. You know, what will it sell in excellent condition, not what, because it's easier to try to pick something that's selling at retail because it somewhat has a base standard of the condition versus trying to say, well, I need to find a house that's in the same condition as this house. No, we're trying to get to where the investor is going to make their money, right? And so you have to start on what can they sell it for, all right, once they renovate it. So you just have to get a good idea what the repairs are. Now, in your opinion, you say it's like it's ready to go or whatever. At least put 10,000 in there. We'll just go with that number as far as repairs. It may not take that money, but it wouldn't hurt anything if you overestimated that. That wouldn't be that big of a deal breaker because it's rare something's not going to need any renovation unless it was just recently renovated or whatever. Now, people keep their houses up and it'll sell. You know what I'm saying? You could tell that it really doesn't need it because they just kept their property up over time or whatever. So, but if it's not a situation where you know it's been renovated and you normally can tell from the photos, just put 10 in there anyway. So, and roll. So you can use 5, but I'm gonna say 10,000 and roll with your numbers from there.
All right, thank you for that. Charles James, I agree. He says this information is great. Rose is gold. If I find a vacant lot, would you be interested in the New Jersey area? So how about you take a moment to say what you're looking for as far as like the industrial,
Just we're looking
commercial,
at this for
blanket.
real estate in general. But if he's just talking about a vacant lot, that could be all over the board. When you say a vacant lot, is it in a residential area? Is it commercial? Is it undeveloped? Does it have road access? Has there ever been a structural property there before? All of those things are factor in, but all of those, because of any of those factors and more will determine whether it's an opportunity or not. It's still going to boil down a lot of times of how much activity is in the area. Again, it's different with land now because you may not have some activity in the area, but it may still have some value or whatever, just depend. But normally when it doesn't have a lot of activity in an area, the tract needs to be a lot larger. Like when I say the tract, I mean like acres or whatever. So, but if it's in a residential area and it's in between two houses, what they call that an infill lot or whatever, then, it may have some value depending on what the houses are selling for. So you just have to just take a look at it. It's always just hard to answer that question or whatever.
We're talking about what you were looking
for. Now what I would prefer that you send over, if it's an infill lot in probably a $500,000 neighborhood or higher, right? So it's in a neighborhood, $500,000 houses or higher. Well, I can say that, but the average house may be 2,500. So it's just hard to say that, but I'm gonna go with that number. And then if you're gonna go with larger tracts, ideally something right off a freeway exit. Like you can see if you're standing on that property, you can see the exit, you can see the freeway or whatever. Like you can see it. That would be ideal. If you're just talking raw land or whatever. So just off the top of my head, that. Because it can give more detail, but we'll just go with those two.
All right. Thank you for answering that question. So Timothy Coffey says, I have a quick question. On PropStream, can we utilize the vacant properties for wholesaling, or is that considered on market when it's listed for everyone?
Well, okay. I'll just explain. Maybe I think he's a little confused. If it's listed, that means you just go to, if you Google the address, it'll probably be on Zillow, Realtor, Trulia, and all those sites. Be on all those websites. If it's listed with an agent, it could be, but it could be vacant or occupied. That it doesn't matter about that. Agents list properties all the time that's occupied and vacant. So that's irrelevant. Maybe I'm not understanding this question. What do you think, Renika?
I think his question is stating that if it's listed on PropStream, but you don't have listings on PropStream, it's just a sync with the listings of the county, right?
Yeah. PropStream has all properties. If that county says it's a property in all, I don't know how many counties it is, but I know it's 50 states. Well, you know what? I don't think they do Alaska and Hawaii. I need to check that. I never looked. But anyway, I know the other 48 they do, right? And so in all the counties within those states. So it just has all properties there. It's just like more like a, what's the better way of putting it, Adrian? If you just had everything of a particular type. What would be something similar to that?
I don't know. I can't think of anything. Sorry.
Gumbo?
Gumbo?
Melting pot?
I guess it just has everything. It just has all the information, whether they are currently listed with a real estate agent or for sale or they're not. Basically, they're going to have off-market and on-market properties, period. Right. All of it. That's the best way I can explain it.
Right. And basically stating if it's showing that it's on market, is those not good properties to wholesale because they are for everybody?
Mm-hmm.
Which is, so if they're listed, most likely everybody does see it. So, you don't want to focus on listed properties, I would say. No. Only because when you do sell it or try to sell it to an end buyer, I don't know an end buyer who actually take possession of the property of ownership and not do their due diligence and Google the address and try to find as much information about it as possible. So you just got to take that into consideration when you're wholesaling properties that is listed on the market.
Mm. And Ty, to answer your question, it is 3,143 counties in the United States.
Boom.
3,443.
3,100. It seems like it would be so many more counties than that.
Yeah. Well, I guess. So it's 3,400, 3,300 counties.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's a small number. Well, I guess it's a big number. Anyway, I thought it would be more than that.
Counties are very massive.
Yeah, I guess. You're right. I guess. Okay. Well, we'll go with that. Okay. Talk about getting Gator. Has a question. I have a question. I've heard you can sell freshly incarcerated folks' property. My question is, where can I go and check for that type of info? Meaning newly incarcerated folks, and check to see if they have real estate that they would like to sell fast. I know we didn't talk about looking at the obituaries. We didn't talk about looking at the divorce papers. But homie says we're looking at Jail Finder for your county, and whoever wants to get locked up, hey, you want to sell that house real fast, so we have some money on your books. So what do you think about that?
I don't know if it's a list for stuff like that. I don't know if it's a list for things like that, but if I think about a family member getting locked up, isn't there nobody else that could take control of that in the family? But there's opportunity there, obviously. I don't know about a list, to find a list of home owners who is incarcerated.
Okay. But I like your thinking process, though. Keep that up.
I'm trying to, because what you would have to do basically is you would probably have to have a list of all the inmates. And
that's available.
Is it? Is it just a click of a button for any facility?
Yeah.
Okay, so I wanted to do like when they're being Jesus Christ, I hope I'm not about to
processed.
Being processed. That they have like once they process, like, are all the assets and everything processed at the same time, huh?
I kind of feel that it does. I kind of feel that, I mean, they lose so many rights. You lose so many rights when you get incarcerated.
I don't think they lose ownership of any property unless it was deemed part of a crime or something.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? I don't think they lose that. Matter of fact,
well, depending on the type of crime, they will seize all assets.
Yeah. But if you like, I don't know.
I don't like where this is going.
No, I'm gonna use something like. Like you. I don't know. You had too many. Can you do actual prison time for a DUI if you have enough of them?
Yes, absolutely.
They ain't hurt nobody though. But so assuming that, okay, let's assume it's that then. You ain't hurt nobody, and then you just got pulled over 2 minutes. So do actual prison time, not county time, but prison time.
Maybe not prison time.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. So, because that could be a difference or whatever. But they still going in. So, but they may not be in as long as somebody.
But you know the fines that are associated with multiple DUIs. Oh my gosh, they get into thousands. Oh
yeah, trust me, I know. Most of us have family members that have.
Okay,
so that was strong.
Liquidate their properties, maybe.
I mean, but if you think about it, they're gonna end up losing. If you got time, like 3, 4, 5 years, if you're not paying your taxes, you're gonna end up losing it anyway. So
well, they may have a family member out there paying it though,
There's somebody paying it on it for you. Yeah.
So yeah, but I guess what I'm trying to get to is that if a list like that exists, it would probably let me put it like this: there are data forms out here to get you anything you want. If it's registered. It's out there. Trust me. Yeah. You just have to just contact the right data source, and they probably got the list for you. Period. It's probably just a Google search away, and it's probably not as simple as just the first thing that comes up. Oh wow, there it is. it's going to probably be something you got to dig for or whatever. And it's probably, it's probably some gold. It's some bread probably in there somewhere. I know I've had to, I went down to the county one time to put a deal together. I had to take a notary with me to get it signed. The mother didn't even know her daughter's name was on the deed. She was half owner or whatever, and she was locked up. And so I had put a notice out that's just when I was still working, had a job. I sent out an email to everybody in the office and said, did anybody know a mobile notary? And so a lot of people replied, and the one lady that I chose, her sister actually worked for the DA's office. So all she had to do was go down there and show her badge. I didn't know that. I just picked the right person. I mean, I just picked her and she was the right person. All she had to do was go down and show her badge. I was just sitting out there in the lobby, out there going over my whole life.
Reevaluating yourself.
It's like, okay. You ready to walk off your job? I'll tell you.
Yeah, I'm over there sitting down there in the county jail waiting room, just evaluating my whole life. Like, oh my God, yeah, boy.
This is where you want to be. This ain't it.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's continue with our questions. Student and teacher from Instagram says, hi guys. So I looked up on a 9.5 acre property. House needs 175,000 max in updates and repairs. I need funding. Where do I go for funding a property that's 9.5 acres, 3,200 after ARV, 600K roughly? Okay, so 320. Sorry, acres, 3,200 after ARV, 600K roughly. I don't know what the 3,200 is.
Maybe the house that sits on the 9 acres is 3,200 square feet.
Okay, there you go. And the ARV is 600K.
And what is he trying to get?
Funding. But my question is, are they factoring in the land? So how does that work when you have the house and the owner's like, well, it's sitting on 10 acres and,
Yeah, like who come up with that number? What are you going by? Is that by what other properties have sold? Or are you just looking at what the county says worth or the owner said that it's worth? What are you basing it on? And what's your exit strategy? If it's worth 600, what are you getting it for? You getting it for 200, 300? What are you getting it for?
Okay, so funding with the purchase of property and repair, you said it's 300,000. And yes, the house is
300,000.
Yes, so 3,209 is the square foot. So they're asking for 85. They're asking for 85. He has the repairs at 175. So all in repairs in the house is about 300K. It's a 3,200 square foot house that's on 9.5 acres. And he says he got the number from comps.
Yeah, you definitely the money. I mean, if you can flip it out for 600,000, I mean, you that's a really good deal. Absolutely. And 9 acres, I mean, as far as like a lender like myself, we can go up to properties that sits on a maximum of 20 acres. So 9 acres, you'll be good. The key between that is finding other comps that is within comparable miles, to comp it. And I think that's really where it gets to the point where it's hard to get financing because, it may be a unique property where there's no comps nowhere close to 9 acres, or maybe their price can discount or devalue the value of the property because it sits around property that sits on 3 acres and it sits on 9 acres. So sometimes you can have sometimes you don't reap the benefit of your unique property because it sits in an area that just doesn't have the comps to value it, and it decreases your value. So, but as far as funding 9 acres, that's not a problem. I think any lender, private lender like myself, will fund a property that sits on 9 acres. The key is that the comps close, or the comps within 3 miles and things of that nature.
Okay, thank you for that. And okay, no, can you guys inbox me? Okay, no, well, we'll do closer to the end. You'll have the opportunity to reach out to Renikia and her office in regards to needing assistance with funding for that deal, student and teacher. So make sure you stay tuned and get that information. And the follow-up was that it is in a rural area.
That what they said?
Yes.
So that's another one.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even know how they came over that value.
Yeah. I mean, I have ability to lend in rural, but any lender that lends in rural, you're going to pay for it. You know, it's going to be like 50, 60% LTV, you know, where your down payment may be a lot more, your interest rate may be higher. You're definitely going to pay for it because honestly, the reason being is because, you know, in rural areas, from a lender standpoint, we think that is unsellable, you know, where there's just not enough activity in the area. So if something happened, you default on a loan, what's the ability to resell that? And then a lot of times in rural areas, the activity is just minimal. So it's hard to resell those properties. So, you know, maybe you can figure out how you can turn that 9 acres into a subdivision and kind of create, make a subdivision out of it, and add more properties on that 9-acre land and section off, something like that. So.
Okay, thank you, student and teacher. Hopefully you caught all of that. Thank you for asking that question. Surely helped you and someone else. Truly honest says, "Hi, I have a buyer who wants me to send a picture ID. Is that normal?"
A buyer or a seller?
Well, it said the message says a buyer. I ain't sending
That's
you my
weird.
ID.
That's weird on both sides,
That's
actually.
weird.
Yeah, I ain't doing that. They ain't motivated.
Yeah, that's weird.
I ain't doing that.
I mean, I can kind of maybe think about why, I don't know, but that's kind of weird.
Yeah, when you see me, what?
I mean, why do you need my license?
Yeah, I need my license. Yeah.
That's weird.
Okay. Let's see here.
I can't tote your property off.
That's it.
Like literally.
And I mean,
can't.
I will assume that they just want to know your address. So if anything go wrong, they can do a lawsuit or something like that. They have your information. I don't know.
All right, King's reaction. King Shabaya is getting straight to the money along with self-made _ products. So King has, what is the payment process for is completing the deal, the transaction? Does it go through checking account or routing number? So how do I get my coins? Like the title company more than likely is going to either wire the funds to your account or give you a paper check, correct?
Absolutely. Those are your two options. I mean, you'll let the attorney know or title company know how you want it. You want it wired. They're going to ask for your wiring instructions. And they'll wire directly to your account, or they can cut your check and you can pick up your check at the closing table.
Okay. Still speaking about the money and how you get paid. Self-made says, as an wholesaler, how do I get paid without being at closing and the buyer and seller never meeting? So this is what we talk about in a double close, correct?
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like he's saying how you get paid if you're not at the closing table, and then making sure that your seller and your buyer never meets. I mean, that's honestly, that's part of, you either double close it. So the seller or the buyer don't know your fee, because if you don't double close it, your assignment fee will be very bold on that settlement statement. And 9 times out of 10, somebody gonna say something to try to negotiate you down, or whatever the case may be. But the key is how you set up the whole closing. You double close it, you don't have to worry about that anyway. If not, even if you do double close, I still would set it up where I may do my end buyer at early in the morning, go ahead and get them to sign off and wire the money in. And then maybe a couple hours or so later, I get the seller to come in and sign off, because what the seller wants, when the seller finish, they want to see their money, or whatever case may be. So that's why I usually will always get the end buyer to come in and sign first, maybe an hour or two earlier, so they never really meet,
Ty, any input on that?
I concur.
There we go. Okay. So Nomadic Nana has a question. I see and hear a lot about the East, Northeast, and Midwest, but I don't hear much about the West. What experience do you have with flipping contracts in Arizona, specifically in the Tucson region?
Well, I personally don't have any experience there, but I'm friends with Jamil Demji and I know Pace also, Morby. That's where they're based out of. I know it's going down there if I don't know anywhere else outside of Birmingham. So it's going down. No different. Bigger checks.
Bigger checks, bigger houses.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not a certain area, you know, even if we don't talk about it, even if we don't talk about your area, it's not a certain area where this works better than others. It's truly just locating areas where buyers and sellers are forever moving. You know, that could be a small pocket wherever you want it to be. Just locating those pockets where people want to live. You know, so it's not one area of the other. But one thing I would say about Arizona that I know from a lending standpoint, Arizona do not have favorable foreclosure laws. So as a lender, you know, a lot of lenders redline Arizona and a couple other states somewhat because of their unfavorable foreclosure laws. So there's some states that has really great landlord laws, some states that have good foreclosure laws, and things that are eviction laws and things of that nature, which dictates, sometimes it may dictate investor going into one state or the other, depending on the laws in that state. So.
All right. Good information to know. Thank you for sharing that. So Jamie Branch has purchased the wholesale program and has just started watching the videos. I've been seeing homes for sale by owner and with RE agent signs, which is simpler. I'm a newbie. So what's simpler, the FSBOs or the RE agents, or technically neither?
For sale by owners will probably be the easiest because you're direct. You know, real estate properties that is represented by real estate agents, you're going to always go through that gatekeeper who's there, which becomes like a disconnect because the real estate agent want the maximum money, you want the least money, so you kind of get into that path of resistance. But I will always put the best properties that you're going to find is for sale by owners, going directly to the owners.
Okay, thank you.
Next, you don't have to be. You're not taking whenever another individual is involved, aka an agent. You just included someone else's finances in the deal, their bills, their roof over their head. You know what I'm saying? That being a consideration on the decision or the influence is a better word in the deal, right? Might not make a difference sometimes, but a lot of times it will. So, and I know agents will say, I'm professional. My client is first. Then something is wrong with you if your client is first and not your kids and your roof over your head. You know what I'm saying? That's just being human.
Exactly.
Nothing wrong with being human, worrying about the basic. My shelter first, boom, boom, then we worry about everybody else. Nothing wrong.
Absolutely.
That's called survival, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Eric, I see you, and I'm sad that you're not feeling well, but I hope you feel better. It says, what up, philanthropist? Good day, A. And of course, Rennie the Pretty. I'm going to have to catch the replay. I'm trying to get over this COVID thing.
Oh, no, man.
I know. That's our movie quote guru. So thank you. Our day, if you consistently like it, I like it too. Just keep joining us. So let's see here. In order to go 50-50 with the deals, you later contract has to be ready to go, or you just show you a vacant area. So the contract needs to be ready to go. You need to have it under contract, right, Ty?
Yeah, on houses for sure.
So there you go. Off market, under contract, preferably off market, which means not advertised.
Yeah.
And under contract.
Unless you're gonna take this route, take MLS.
Okay. So when we were talking about the ID, we got a little bit of follow-up on that. So Amber says, I have an owner that will not gonna show me the house without me emailing them my ID and proof of funds. Can I get
Okay.
help with that? Although the house is not under contract. That's you asking for a
Okay.
lot of stuff. Mm-mm.
No, that I can understand, because even with real estate agent, a lot of times real estate agents will ask you for your ID. So, they go and take you out to all these properties. They're going to submit your ID to their broker, so they broker know exactly who they're with, who they're taking out, and things of that nature. So as a homeowner, I can see why they do. I can see why they ask for that, because they are bringing you into their house, and they just want to know who walking through. So I can respect a homeowner wanting to know who's walking through their house. Now it's completely up to you to give it to them, but I can understand from a homeowner standpoint why they'll be asking for it to a certain extent.
Yeah, that makes sense. If you're a little paranoid, I get it. A lot of crazy stuff you see on the news, but you're trying to sell something, right? You know what I'm saying? And you ain't trying to sell some pencils. You're trying to sell something that normally is going to cost many thousands of dollars, right? So you're going to have to be a little flexible. Now, if you need to have someone out there, the police or somewhere, whenever you show the house, you may want to do that. But you're trying to sell something. Now let me just say this: if they're making that request, it better be a slam dunk deal.
Right.
Otherwise, if so that's what we need to talk about. What she's asking right here.
Yeah.
What's the ARV and what's the price? And I'd be ready to. Well, let's do this. Let's ask her that. Whoever asked that question, answer those.
I think she hear you.
She hear you. I'm mad like she don't hear me. Okay.
I thought you were talking about the homeowner, but
I'm screaming at the homeowner.
They are doing the both.
Amber, Ty said.
Yeah, let's hear the price and let ARV.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
they
wait
ask for a lot.
Goodness.
But I have seen it before. Now that you put it like that, I have seen that before. I know real estate agents that do that a lot.
Okay.
And just because at one point in time, there's, real estate agents get killed. There were some bad cases out there. So a lot of brokers were starting to alert their agents to get all that information before you start taking people out.
That's understandable. And I know, like, when you're some of those houses where they have like the lock boxes, before they give you the code, you need to, the ones that you just go out and look at it for yourself, they're not even coming out.
Well, they don't supposed to do that though, do they?
Do what?
Or do they have special lock boxes for that?
Well, I thought once you get the code, but if you look on like the rental sites, like legit, like with the realty companies, especially ones that are like housed somewhere else, but they're managing properties here, they have those electronic boxes.
Oh, you have to send over your information. Okay,
yeah.
That's different.
But then they
they send you the code so they know who's coming.
But the seller gonna do that?
Huh?
The seller
I don't know. They might.
Okay. Yeah. The seller want to know that the buyer is real.
I'm talking crap. Maybe that needs to be a service that's offered to sellers that are doing it themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Find the problem.
Sell, verify.
Find the problem. Provide a solution. You get paid.
Ooh, verify to sell.
Yeah,
I'm telling you the website name. Verify to sell.
Honestly, that's a smart seller, to be honest with you, because so many people come in and out your house and really not going to get the job done. They're really trying to say, don't waste my time. I don't want my time wasted, and I'm not trying to waste your time. So let me know you're a real buyer. Let me know who you are, and let's do real business. So, okay. He's a paranoid seller or a smart one.
Okay, so I'm going to go with Jamie. Jamie offered a solution. Maybe create a web page that you can send to them, identifying what you do with a pic of you so they can see who they're doing business with.
That's true. Absolutely. Yeah.
But then I guess I can be catfishing you and put anybody picture up there too. So
So it's like there's no win-win. They're gonna want to see that license, which is a lot. It's a lot for a homeowner to ask for that. But on both, the fact that I understand both sides, I can understand both sides too. But to Tom's point, you're not motivated. You're not motivated.
I will be shocked if those numbers work.
You're not motivated. I got to go through all these loops.
Okay. Renikia, so this is a good question for you to answer for Richie Rich 5.0. With attorney states, is the process the same as non-attorney states?
Yeah, the process is the same. I mean, the process between attorney state or a title agency. What attorney gonna do when you hire attorney, they're gonna contact the title company, and the title company gonna give them the title. That's how closing attorneys get their title, by hiring a third party title company. Now, to title states, you literally cuts out. Sometimes it's better to use a title company because you cut out the closing attorney fees. Because title companies have the ability to close too. So I like to use closing attorneys, but if you go direct, you just cut out the closing attorney fees by just going direct to the title company. Or if you go to the closing attorney, you're going to pay both. You're going to pay the closing attorney for closing, and you're also going to pay the title fee. And you're going to pay a fee with a title company too. They're going to charge you a fee for closing, but it's just not going to be as much as a closing attorney will charge.
Okay. Trev, G90, I see your profile picture down there, but I don't see you. If you want to join us live and ask questions yourself, you can just wave at me when you take your profile picture down. But I do see you put a question in the chat, so I will read that, but you just won't be able to do the follow-up questions quickly. So I have an MLS property under contract, and the numbers work, but there's a cemetery in front of it, and the property is around some multi-family houses also, which is why I can't find a cash buyer. I don't know what to do at this point. So it sounds like the surroundings of the home are causing it not to be, valuable to a buyer. So what do you do in that case?
Well, that's not a deal.
Okay.
That's not a deal. You didn't get it cheap enough.
Okay, so listen. So imagine, just hear me out. You got the formula, right? You plug and chug your numbers, and according to it, the numbers work.
That means, okay, let's explain that again.
Okay, so the numbers work.
No, I'm saying, explain what's the situation with the house.
There's a cemetery in front of it.
Cemetery in front. That's
cemetery in front. Okay.
Yeah,
and
cemeteries are not. I'm trying to think in Birmingham. I know each city is different. I'm trying to think of a neighborhood. The one of the,
we have one in my mom's neighborhood. There's her neighborhood, and then it's the main drag, and then on that across the street of it, it's a big cemetery. Then beside that is some public housing. So it's like it's in the neighborhood. You can't go through the neighborhood without
I didn't say it wasn't in the neighborhood. I said, well, what type of neighborhoods are they normally in?
I just told you it was next door. So.
I got a friend about townhomes. They built a whole new townhome community next to a cemetery.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then he also added that multi-family houses are near it as well. I don't know what we mean by multi-family.
So that's what I'm saying. So, that's when you start to cross. That's when crossing those streets matter. See, you know what I'm saying? Is that he said the numbers work, but what comps are you using? It's just so hard to answer that.
He said what didn't work? He said the numbers work, but it's hard to find an investor because of the cemetery.
Yeah, because of the cemetery and such. I'm saying so.
And the real investor won't look at it like that. They'll look at the numbers. If the numbers, if the comps made sense, it doesn't matter about the cemetery.
That's what I'm saying. But could he have made a mistake because he's looking at comps he shouldn't be looking at? That's what I'm saying. That's why that stuff matters or whatever. Just knowing a market and the perception of neighborhoods. You cross one street and go from 60,000 houses to $500,000 houses. You have to know that kind of stuff. But from someone just viewing it from online, these houses selling for 500,000. No, they're not. Not on this side of the street, they're not.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's so weird to me, but it's so true. The side of the street matters. It matters.
Yeah, I don't know about any other
It could be less than a 0.1 mile across the street, and it matters. It really does.
Anybody in Birmingham, I can give them a perfect neighborhood. 2 neighborhoods, Woodlawn and Crestwood. You literally cross the railroad track, right? Like the prices jump dramatically.
Right.
It is, you know, that's just, I can think about another one like that. But yeah, you know, but I'm
Mhm.
assuming a lot of cities are like that.
Yeah.
At some
Absolutely.
point, they have to, the pricing has to jump at some point. You know what I'm saying? That just, I don't care what it is. At some point, the price is going to jump.
Right. And sometimes across the street is a whole nother school district. And I had an
Yes.
appraiser tell me that if it's a whole nother school district across the street, it's given a whole new value just because it's in a whole nother school district. You know, so that matters too.
All right, so let's see here. Did you follow up? Nope. So Trev G90, hopefully you heard that answer to your question, and hopefully it
Yeah, I would have
provides
to,
you
I would
some-
just, something like that, I just like to look at to see, you know what I'm saying? You know, just what's going on in there, see why you said it was a deal, you know. So if you want to text it over to me, I'll gladly take a look and just put cemetery property.
Okay. Well, next up, guys, you still have time to join us by text network Gator to 205-964-5243. Like Amber, who I'm supposed to bring on, that just got me gilded. So Amber, you come on and ask your own questions and your own follow-up. Hey, Amber.
Hey.
Hello.
Hi. So I'm just asking, following up, see if you guys want to look at the house that I was talking about where the owner wants my ID and proof of funds.
Oh yeah, that's
And
good.
see if it may be a
Okay.
deal. Okay.
You
I heard the fussing, so I was like, oh, let me get on here so we can talk about it.
Like, we have about 2 days. That's a lot.
Amber, you
So-
heard me. I said, you need to ask Amber. So
I
I'm
was
like,
really
Stop
screaming at
saying.
the seller.
I heard her say, I think she hears you. I was like, I do.
well, you tell
All right.
Amber.
Oh boy,
So
that's funny.
the address is 5611 Park Avenue, Kansas
right.
City, Missouri.
Of course. Let me share my screen here. Not Kansas City,
64130.
Kansas.
Is the owner living in the property?
Let's see. I don't
vacant?
think so. I think it's vacant.
Okay.
All right, so let's see what we got here. So they already gave you a price?
The price is on Zillow on sale by owner, $63,999, and the price has gone down.
Okay. Let's look at that. All right. So, okay, it's been on the market. It has a lot of views. Okay, for 77 days. What is that?
2 months and some change.
Huh?
That's probably why she asked him, because she
Yeah,
didn't get a lot of
And
Yeah.
that's it.
she didn't got a lot of people calling her.
Yeah,
Right.
20. Is that right?
No.
20. Actually,
Yeah, she's gotten a lot of. It seems that she's gotten a lot of people wasting her
Also,
time.
like 21
Wait
views.
that time, exactly.
Yes, 21 views a day. That's technically that's okay. It's not a lot. It's got 64 saves though, so it looks in pretty good condition. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. So let's dive in here. See what we got. Okay, this is a non-disclosure state, I think. So that's cool. All right. So that was back in. Okay, that was 2022. So this tells a lot right here.
Oh, Kansas is a non-disclosure state.
Missouri is. But I can still pull it up.
Nikki.
So,
I'm sorry.
so she tried to sell it through MLS for $85,000 and it didn't sell.
Okay.
Right. That was just this year, according to this. Okay. And so
Yeah.
okay, so now let's get in here. And so
I mean,
number one,
obviously it doesn't need any repairs based on the pictures.
And yeah, it looks in good shape.
Now just looking at this, okay, just to blow this up really quick. So I would use number 1, 2, and 3 right here. They're right by it. Doesn't cross over 50 East 55th. So let's look at. So the years line up. So we got hers is 1925. We have 1925. We have a 1987. We really want to use that. But the 1919 we would go with. The lot square footage lines up. The square footage of the houses line up. Okay, now the one that sold most recent was in March, though. Things have changed since then, right?
Mm.
Now, normally what you say, Renika, normally in those price ranges like this, they don't take as big as a hit in the higher prices houses. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Disagree?
Yeah, I think absolutely.
Yeah. So this
How
comp
much did
right
that sell for?
now, that was a 1987. We can't use that one, so we'll use this one in January. It's over 125, right, in that range. All right. So now, just looking at that, that should be a deal. But again, that was in January. The renters rates probably they've doubled since then, basically, right? So I don't know. So
And so,
obviously,
what's that? It's the 125 comp. Is it the same bed, bath, and square footage?
it's actually a little smaller. It's the square footage. It's let's look at it.
And we see the pictures on it?
Yeah, that's what I was going to do. Pull
Because
it
that's
up.
probably why she like, okay. She
Let's do
think her
this.
property's worth away a little bit more. And like maybe a good rental property though.
Well, yeah, it seemed like it would be a good rental area. So, like this house here, her house don't look like this one. Her house don't look like
Yeah, that's renovated.
Yeah, there you go, right there. That's the problem right there. Her house don't look like that one. But she has a price though at half of this, right? At where is it? She has a
It's
price.
85.
Yeah, so it's not price bad based on that. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, sure.
But it's simple, Amber. The market has spoken. It's been on the market 77 days. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, now she may be making it difficult for somebody to buy it. It may be as simple as that now. It may be as simple as that, because if she put them parameters on you, she's probably doing that with a lot of other people. And some people, because I would be one of them, I'm like, wait a minute now. This property's been on the market for a minute now. You gonna let me get it for 30? If you gonna let me get it
It's
for 30,
actually a good deal. I mean, if you can sell it for 120, 125, it's not bad. Or it's not bad. It's not a bad flip, because I don't think it would need no more than about 15, maybe
the
20,000.
house is in pretty good condition. It just don't look like that other house or whatever. But it's an older house, so you're gonna probably get in there and found a few issues or whatever. But it's over 100 years old. So,
Yeah, that's not bad. I mean, yeah. What
So
she
what?
asking is not bad at all. I mean, if you add, because 70% of 125, just saying that is a comp, even though it's 6 months ago, so it's not the comp. But just say that you can flip it for 125, 70% of 125 is 87.5. You only want 63, so you pick it up for 60, you put 20 in it, you all in at 80, you still below the minimum. So it's still a good flip if you pick it up at the price that she asking.
Well, of course, at the wholesale, she might want to get a little cheaper.
Oh yeah, you want to get cheaper, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, to an end buyer at 63 or 60,000, that's where they want to be. To you want to be around what, 50,000 maybe?
That's what I was thinking.
50.
She got down here. Excellent flip value is 225. Huh?
Oh, 225. Oh, she's
That's what she got right. Yeah, she in La Land, man.
maybe that's a typo. Maybe she meant 125.
Appraised 128.
Well, how's it gonna flip for 225 if it's appraised for? Oh, she must be as is value. What's her name? What's the lady's name is? Let me see. What is it? Oh, they don't have it right here, but it has her phone number.
Her name is Sonia.
I think it's a good deal for an investor, for yourself to wholesale. Yeah.
So
But
But my thing is she real? How do I know you the owner of the house? You may be collecting folks' information. We both.
That's what I'm saying, because it's listed in the LLC. You know what I'm saying? So they might be trying to. It might be.
I'll check the track record. Check the property records and see who owns it. Is that LLC? That who owns it?
Yeah, that's right here. Yeah.
And then I'll go to Secretary of State and see who owns that LLC. And see if they have a manager or something associated with the LLC. When did she buy it, and how much did she buy it for?
The last transaction was back in October of 2021. It's non-disclosure, so unless it's sold through MLS, it's not going to show it here.
Oh,
Or whatever.
okay.
So, yeah. So it must have been a public record sale, well, non-MLS. Let me say that. Yeah.
So how do y'all retrieve information like that in non-disclosure states? I'm just kind of curious.
Talking about this here on the MLS?
No. If it didn't sell on MLS, how can you do your due diligence? How do you retrieve that type of information? You got to pay for it? They make you pay for it?
I don't even know. I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know how that's made available, or even if it's made available. If it didn't sell through MLS, it's not gonna. You won't see it.
It seemed like the numbers be distorted then.
Mm-hmm. So yeah. So to answer your question, Amber, I will not send them your license. that's where I'm going.
Hold on a second. Sorry, say that again.
I'm saying don't, unless she's going to probably sell it for 30, and you can verify that this is the person that is the managing member of this LLC. I would not send over my information.
Okay.
And if you did send it over, I would block out your driver's license number, your address, things of that nature. If you did send it over, and a little barcode on the back.
Proof of funds and tell her to call you, FaceTime me. I don't know.
Right. So
Yeah,
that's
but-
I'll send her a proof of funds because it could be a good wholesale deal.
But you definitely need to get it cheaper. You definitely get it cheaper just for the sake of it hadn't sold at 63 or 64.
Right.
And it's been out there 77 days. So we know that's not a deal, right? We know it's not a deal at that, because the market is telling you it's not.
Okay. Yeah, it's a lot in the overview. She wants 5 days due diligence. Hard money or earnest money is non-refundable.
No,
That sounds like a wholesaler.
Yeah, delete this number. Delete.
That sounds like a wholesaler.
Yeah, delete. Yeah, you ain't got to worry about this one no more. I'm glad you said the rest of that. Don't even worry about it.
Okay.
I'm like, is that
So
even real?
I'm doing the Gator Challenge, and so this was one of the houses that I was trying to do the Gator Challenge with. But I guess I'll just move on to some of my others on the list.
Yeah. You move on from there.
What's the Gator Challenge?
That's just stupid. So she should have texted me.
Oh,
You should have texted me.
You see how easy it is for you to package your deal and you end up not getting, it's an easy deal, but because of the way that you are treating your deal and packaging your deal, you lose the real buyers.
Hi, Dad.
You lose real buyers like that. So
Yeah.
Hi, Dad.
unfortunately.
Well, hey, Miss Amber, please reach out to me.
Okay.
All righty. Thank you for joining us.
All right. Thank you. Bye, guys.
Yes, ma'am.
have a good night.
All right, bye.
Right.
Okay, so hold up before you take that down. Trev, I saw your face.
We've been on an hour and 12 minutes.
Yeah, but Trev was already on here.
Okay, let's get it.
Yeah,
But he
so
took his thing down.
he did, but he left me the address in the chat.
Flew by. Oh,
I know we did, right? And my baby said bring some Welch's fruit snacks and some Kool-Aid jammers. So I got to go to the store. Okay, so the address is 11 Mary.
What am I doing here?
This is the cemetery property.
Oh, okay, you got it. Okay, good.
11
Okay,
Mary.
good. Let's get it. Okay.
Saint
I hope I'm wrong.
Ansonia Court.
Wait a minute. What is it?
11 Mary Saint St Ansonia Ansonia
And Sonia.
Ansonia. Oh, I'm so dumb. It's 11 Mary Street, Ansonia, Connecticut, or whatever city stands for.
It's hard to find a good help. How you spell it?
Ansonia. I thought it was Mary Saint.
A-N-S. What is it?
Sonia.
Okay. Oh, that's interesting.
Boy, oh, your girl's slow. Okay, so the ARV that they have is 250,000, repairs around 25, and they're asking 155. I've had multiple cash buyers tell me that the price is not the problem, it's the area, and it's a good neighborhood. It's just the cemetery And a cash buyer told me it's surrounded by a lot of multifamilies, which makes it harder to flip for some reason.
Okay. Well, that's the perception, you know, so you'll have that, and you know, you'll have investor perceptions of neighborhoods, right?
Yeah.
And so to me, I'm riding around, and I'll just give you two neighborhoods here in Birmingham. You know, to me, North Birmingham and I don't know, West End are the same neighborhoods. But to investors in Birmingham, they're not.
Right.
They're not. I know they're the same neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? But for them, it's not.
And also some investors, they just got they got their neighborhoods that they like. So anything beyond or outside of that, they may try to discount or devalue in some type of way. I think the key is not to take consideration what the investor is stating. I mean, too, because that's your end buyer, but to take in consideration, are buyers buying in this area? What is the absorption rate of properties that did get rehabbed, and did those properties sell?
Well, there hasn't been a just looking at this right here, just looking at the properties right by it right here. Okay, these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 properties. Okay, so there hadn't been a sale through MLS, let me say that, since April. Right. So we're in August.
What did it sell for April?
All right, that one sold for 205. All right. There was another one that sold for 151. And it was actually our property is a 1900 build, and this property here is a 1961, but the other one was an 1890. So let's just look at this one that sold in April. Let's see the condition of it. I could already say if that 205 is even, well, we know it's correct, you know, and you got it for 155, just on the surface, that's not a deal, you know, just not knowing anything about the property.
Well, he had the ARV at 250.
Yeah, see, it's not that. See that's
250. They want 150. And what is the repair?
Yeah, so it ain't that. You know what I'm saying? So let's look at this one. That's this one up here. And that was the 1890.
The ones that sold for 205, is it renovated?
Well, this is the way it looks. This is the only photo I have right here.
Oh, okay.
It looks like it has been. Looks like it. But that one there is a okay, no, it was the one that was close in gear. Okay, so let's look at this one that sold for 150. Well, here's one that sold for 195. Number 3. Let's look at that one that sold in January. Let's look at it. No photos of that one either. So let me just make sure. Normally, if it's not on,
but you went from a 2.2 to a 3.2.
I know. I'm just looking at square footage, though.
Oh,
you know, because you can manipulate that. Okay, so here we go. We got some photos right here. Okay, boom.
Okay. That's kind of renovated.
Yeah, that's renovated. You know, yeah, that most definitely.
TLC kind of renovated.
Yeah, so that's 195, right?
Oh, that's the one that sold for 195.
That's the one that sold for 195, and so you got yours for 155. That's not a deal. I can just tell you. Yeah, that's why. You know, the cemetery may be one thing, but it's for here's the other one.
Because your ARV is too much high. I mean, your ARV is probably around 200.
Yeah, yeah, especially now. You know, it's probably that or a little less or whatever. So
that's
this
why
is the one that's over 205 right here.
Yeah, no investor gonna pick that up, you know, because the ARV, when they look at their numbers, ARV is 200,000. 70% of 200,000 is 140.
Mm-hmm.
You know, your purchase price is 150.
Yeah. So yeah, that's why it's just simple, man.
Yeah. So you got to get that down to maybe 120. I don't know how much repairs it needs, but you're probably looking at about 115, 120 max.
Well,
even not probably even lower than that. Maybe about 105.
Yeah, I'm gonna say around 100. You know what I'm saying?
100,
yeah. So yeah, you're a long way off. It normally, I'm telling you guys, if you got a deal, normally they don't hesitate. They don't want you to show it to nobody else.
Cemetery can be, you know, I help my daughter to the cemetery. If the number makes sense, investor is going to buy. They're going to buy. You know.
Yeah,
but a lot of times, see, the key is that there's two type of deals. There's an investor type of deal, and there's a end buyer. There's a retail type of deal. So there may be people saying it's a good deal at 150, but that's more for a retail buyer than an investor.
Yeah, that's gonna need a bank loan though. You know,
they're gonna need a bank loan, exactly.
That's not who you're targeting.
Yeah. So to a retail person, yeah, they may think that's a pretty good deal, but to an investor, no.
All right, thank you both for answering that question. For those of you
And
that
also
can see
before we close out on that, always run your numbers off the conservative number. You know, we know we want to get that extra 50,000, 250, but if 90% of everything is saying one number, run your number, do your due diligence off the conservative number.
Well, what he probably did was he went farther than what he should have. You got those 5 properties right by it. There's no reason to go beyond that.
Okay.
There was no reason to go beyond that, right? Because let me see. Do I even see a 250 in here? I see the highest I see within a half a mile is 232, and you know what I'm saying. So I'm not sure where he got the 250 number from or whatever. That's the highest I see. I don't know what he was using. I'm sorry. I see 235. I see 235. That's the highest I see.
Be afraid to run your numbers off of a little extra height. Because of course, if you're an investor, you think that you're going to get that extra 15, 20,000 because no one has your granite, your countertops, whatever. That's how we want to think. But when you run your numbers, you got to run off what you really see and let everything else be the icing on your cake.
Well, we've been rolling pretty hard, guys. Let me get the topic in. Is there a special contract that real estate agents going to you? Yeah, theirs. They're only going to want to use their contract that's been approved by the board of realtors for their particular market. There's no real secret there. So I didn't know we was diving this deep. We have an hour and 21 in. So, hey, man, I really appreciate everyone that joined. Put Renika in the information so she can do her thing.
All right.
You're supposed to be ready.
I wasn't ready. Like, don't do that.
But as they're talking, as always, I'm thankful for being a part of the Flippinar show. My name is Renika Williams. I am an owner of a lending company, and I have some great news. I'm about to relaunch my gap funding program. You'll all be the first one to know when our relaunch is going to be bigger and better, to help you all begin to start again offsetting those expenses that are associated with with even getting all the tools that you need, PropStream, bandit signs and things of that nature, but also you can use it for down payment money and things of that nature. You're going to take this real estate to the next level. But if you are interested in fix and flip funding, rental funding, new construction, multifamily, commercial funding, feel free to give me a call at the number that you see on the screen, or you can also message that number you see on the screen as well. All of our all of our funding options do not require tax returns, income verification, nor pay stubs. It's completely based on the asset, and it's completely based on you just having your money to bring to the table, your down payment money to bring to the table. So if you're interested in any of that, please message me or give me a call at the number you see on the screen.
All right, guys. So if you didn't get your question answered, post them in the comment section of any video. And appreciate everyone showing up, both of my co-hosts. Make this go a lot smoother. And so, again, if nothing else, guys, we'll see you on FLIPSIDE.
Flip side.
Text me and I'll text you back.
Text me and I'll text you back.
Text me then I'll text you back.
You text me then I'll text you back.
Text me then I'll text you back.
TikTok, you don't stop.
I will help you make your paper stack.
Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Where you at now?
205-964-5243. 205-964-5243.